Ciao Fabri, welcome back in our
Ciao guys.
podcast. The transfer window is coming up very shortly right now, but there are some things that we need to discuss earlier because there are some managers in the radar and also some things are happening. And let's start with Xabi Alonso because there was a lot of noise, a lot of tension about his name in the last days.
Yeah, a lot of reports as well, because obviously Real Madrid only won 2 of the last 8 games. This is not a Real Madrid normal record, and so obviously there is a lot of stories, especially coming from the Spanish press. They were stating that Xabi Alonso was going to be fired if he didn't win the game against Man City, and that was not the case, because Real Madrid already, right after the game against City, sent a very clear message: patience, calma. So Real Madrid maintained their confidence and their support for Xabi Alonso. So this is the position of the club right after the game. It's not just from the club, it's also from the players. So they are all together in this message of supporting Xabi Alonso, trusting Xabi Alonso. Of course, the results must change, and must change as soon as possible. There is the Alaves game now for Real Madrid over the weekend, and it's going to be already very important. Real Madrid can't fail other games, so now it's going to be a crucial moment for the future of Xabi Alonso. The plan was never to sack the manager after the Manchester City game. Also, the attitude of the players, the reaction from the team was appreciated, but the result, obviously, was really poor. Losing at home for Real Madrid is always not acceptable, but at the moment, again, the message from the club is still trusting the manager, but the results must change as soon as possible.
You mentioned the players, and I think they were very clear after the game against Manchester City, but what's the feeling inside the dressing room about Xabi Alonso?
Yeah, the feeling was very positive, to be honest. From what I understand is that all the players reacted in a very positive way, trusting the manager, showing support, so similar to the club, and was really appreciated internally at Real Madrid by important people in the management, important people at the club, this kind of reaction from the players. Not just on the pitch, because we saw after Manchester City goal how Real Madrid tried and tried till the very end, but also the public statements from the players, important players, stars of Real Madrid, not small players. We talk about Jude Bellingham, Rodrygo, Thibaut Courtois, also Raúl Asensio. It's not that usual after losing a game to see 4 players going to speak in public and to go with the manager in this kind of way, even in public and not just in private. So Real Madrid appreciated this kind of reaction, everything beautiful in terms of statements, but now it's going to be time to show that with the results. Otherwise, this Xabi Alonso situation could change soon.
Did Real Madrid also made contact with other managers? We know that Zinedine Zidane was also in the standings at the Bernabeu against City. So what's the reaction of the club?
Yeah, from the club they say that they respect and love Zinedine Zidane, as they will do forever, but was not about having a contact with Zinedine Zidane or preparing anything with Zinedine Zidane. So the link between Real Madrid and Zidane will always be there, of course, as probably one of the best managers around, available eventually on the market. But don't forget that Zinedine Zidane already has a verbal agreement ready with the French Federation to become the new manager of French national team after the World Cup 2026. So nothing is signed, so never say never, but at this point I'm not aware of anything advanced or concrete between Zinedine Zidane and Real Madrid. Many rumors also on other managers. What I can guarantee is that at the moment Real Madrid, apart from the appreciation you can have for some manager, someone who is already at Real Madrid, like for example Álvaro Arbeloa, who is always considered the Real Madrid man, at this stage they've not started any process to replace Xabi Alonso. They want to trust, they want to believe in Xabi Alonso, but again, the results of the upcoming games are going to be very important.
One more story from that game was about Rodrygo and Pep Guardiola. What was there? There is some behind the scenes about a transfer story there or nothing at all?
Yeah, Pep Guardiola loves Rodrygo, so when Pep goes to speak to Rodrygo right after the game, and he's also curious, after 32 games without scoring, Rodrygo scores against Manchester City, 5 goals against Manchester City in his career. So when he sees the blue of Man City, he looks like a different player, and the feeling between Guardiola and Rodrygo is fantastic. Guardiola has always been a big fan of Rodrygo. He tried to sign him already 2 years ago, and then last summer again. If Savinho went to Tottenham, probably Manchester City were going to do an official bid for Rodrygo. They never reached that point, so an official negotiation never started, but Man City had contacts with people close to Rodrygo last summer, and so for sure he remains one of the players super appreciated by Pep. Then he goes public after the game, he says Rodrygo is unbelievable, he's an incredible player, so this feeling will stay forever. Then we will see what's going to happen in 2026. I keep repeating that Manchester City will sign a winger in 2026, it's part of the plans, but at the moment I can't guarantee that it's going to be Rodrygo.
Let's now talk about Liverpool. The feeling is that they really needed the win against Inter after the whole story of Mo Salah not calling the player for the Milan game. So what's the feeling at the club after these days between Arne Slot and Mo Salah?
After these statements, explosive statements on Saturday night by Mo Salah, I think Arne Slot looks more powerful to the eyes of the supporters and to the eyes of everyone who is into the industry in terms of power he has at Liverpool, because Arne Slot together with the club, so it was not Arne Slot alone, was the management, Arne Slot, the coaching staff all together deciding not to call Mo Salah for the Inter game, and Liverpool won, so that was also an important reaction, but also important to mention that Arne Slot feels that must be Mo Salah to apologise. This was the sense of his message after the game at San Siro. So let's see what's going to happen there. Now we will follow all the next steps in terms of what's going to happen between Mo Salah and Liverpool. There is the Brighton game, then he will travel for the AFCON, so that is going to be a crucial moment. But Arne Slot is being supported by the club. Several times here on Men in Blazers on our podcast, I keep saying Liverpool trust Arne Slot. Liverpool believe Arne Slot is the man to go through this situation and turn the situation around. So they keep repeating this. They trust the manager, they believe in the manager, and even after this Salah story, I think he's getting more and more power also to the eyes of people who are external to this situation.
Touching on this point, what do you expect from the future of Mo Salah? Can he leave Liverpool in January or not?
I think we have to follow the situation day by day because it's a very fresh situation, and also to answer this question, I think there is a possibility for Mo Salah to leave Liverpool in January. At the same time, Liverpool say, okay, you said what you wanted to say, you have your own feelings, but if you want to leave the club, bring some proposal, because at this stage there are no official negotiations, no official proposals, no talks taking place for Mo Salah to leave Liverpool. So Liverpool are not in a hurry. Liverpool still trust Mo Salah, but at the same time, if he wants to go, if he wants to suggest something like that, he must bring some proposal. The appreciation from Saudi Pro League is 100% confirmed. From Saudi they work like this, I keep repeating that. They like Bruno Fernandes, they like Tony Rudiger, they like Mo Salah. These players remain on the short list of the Saudi deal makers, and then they hope at some point they will be able to bring these players. But for Mo Salah the appreciation remains. For sure he's on the short list. Then let's see if some club will already attack the situation for January. At the moment it's still early, there are still no conversations, but the desire is there, and so let's see what's going to happen also in terms of relationship Liverpool, Salah, Arne Slot in the upcoming games.
Many Barcelona fans are also asking what's happening with Ronald Araújo, so what's going on with him?
Yeah, Ronald Araújo is spending some days in Israel, in Jerusalem at this point, to spend some days to disconnect. So in this moment it's a very personal and private story. Many people are asking us what's going to happen also on the market, if Barca can sell another centre-back, if Araújo is staying or not. In this moment, I don't think it's the right time to speak about transfers. So to all the people who are asking us, I think in this moment, the message coming from all people involved in this story is that Ronald really needs to disconnect. Ronald really needs to find himself again. And then Barcelona approved this travel by Ronald Araújo also because they hope and they are convinced that Ronald will be back with a completely fresh mind, a completely different approach, and he will be ready as soon as possible. Barcelona are waiting for him. Let Ronald take his time, and we all wait for Ronnie Araujo back as soon as possible in the best shape possible.
New week, new podcast, and not a new news because Chelsea signed another wonderkid.
Yes, and save the name because he's another talent. We said about Deiner Ordóñez in November, this centre-back 16 years old from Independiente del Valle who will join Chelsea in 2028, and now Blue Co, the group that is owning Chelsea and Strasbourg, closed another very important deal, and it's again a save the name in this case. Because Muhammad Zongo, 16 years old from Burkina Faso, was one of the stars at the Under-17 World Cup, one of the most wanted players, a German club, an English club, a French club as well. Several clubs tried to sign this player. There was a huge battle behind the scenes because they believed this could be very interesting, but Muhammad Zongo has signed his contract as a Chelsea player. So everything is done. He's going to start his career in Europe at Strasbourg and then go to Chelsea as following step in the future. So this is a Chelsea project player starting from Strasbourg. This is going to be the pathway, but the player is very exciting. The contracts are signed, and Chelsea believe they got a gem in Africa with Muhammad Zongo.
Last one for today. What do you expect from the future of Kobbie Mainoo in January?
I think that is going to be a hot topic very soon. At this point, the timing is going to be an important detail here. because Kobbie Mainoo wants to play more. Kobbie Mainoo wanted to go on loan in August, was not possible. United said no. Kobbie Mainoo still has this desire to go on loan, play football, show his skills, develop, and probably hoping to go to the World Cup. But now depends on Man United. What's the point? United have several players going to the AFCON. And so having several players leaving, Ruben Amorim and the club don't want to let several players go, because this could be an emergency, of course, in terms of injuries, in terms of any problem they could have. So not to have a short squad, Man United want to stay with these players at least for the first 2-3 weeks of January, and eventually consider other possibilities at the very end of the window. It's normal that some of the clubs interested in Kobbie Mainoo, for example Napoli, hope for the possibility to get the player as soon as possible. They need players. Napoli, and not only, is more than 10 clubs interested in Kobbie Mainoo. So let's see what's going to happen there. At the moment, there is still no green light from United, and unless the situation changes in the next days, everything depends on United, on Ruben Amorim, and on the timing of this story. Thank you. Ciao, ciao, guys.
Thank you, Fabri, for today. Talk to you soon.
Thank you. Ciao, ciao, guys.
Top.